All right, so we got the futures slightly up in the overnight session. And yesterday, as a matter of fact, so there's two pretty bullish days. And at least on the futures, yesterday's volume was higher than the previous day's volume. Goes a little bit into the holiday season, but as someone stated here yesterday, what's up, Blair? Someone stated yesterday, even the holiday volume was very elevated. So there's a decent possibility that we're going to have a little rally here. We'll see if it turns into the ultimate low for the bear market. We're in that range. We could bottom at any point. Again, I've said this before. We don't know where we're going to bottom. There's no saying technically where it has to go. Nothing like that. But if you look at a couple of like really leading stocks like Apple and Amazon, there's still quite a bit of work to do. Apple yesterday closed towards the high of the day on pretty elevated volume as well. Not bad. Over average, which is good. Amazon, you can see right there, closed yesterday up again pretty high, pretty good volume. So we're seeing pretty good things. We're not completely out of the woods yet, but we're looking good. Those are two good days. Two good days also don't make a bull market, but just be prepared. Look at some leading stocks. Look at what's potentially moving. What's holding up? Atlassian Team here with a cup with handle, and actually almost breaking out from a technical buy area perspective. You're looking at about 90.23. There's also a declining trend line that actually put you at a buy point a couple of days ago. We haven't really been watching Team. I probably should put this on here. This is a pretty nice chart. Support here at the 50-day moving average. You can see right there, since we broke back through, looks like about a month ago, actually, we've been holding up above the 50-day on Team, which is very good. Let's look at the fundamentals on this one. I didn't have it pulled up. Eli, buy the dip. Well, the dip was down here. Now you're towards the top of the bounce. So 99 composite rating for Team. 54% EPS change last quarter. 41% 3 quarters EPS growth. 61% estimated change current quarter. So that would be an accelerated growth rate, which is good. Nice. Good job, Eli. Sales change 37%. Pre-tax 20%, which is pretty good. ROE 13 is a little light. That could change with some return on equities. Actually has to do with the stock price performance, so that can change as the stock gets healthier. Uh, 1.1 up, down. B minus accumulation distribution. Both of those are positive. 4% change in funds owning stocks. 6 quarters of increasing fund ownership, so that's pretty good. Everything here is in green. 11% off the high, so we're not too bad. Relative strength rating is 98, so it's outperforming 98% of the stocks in the market. So Team here looking really nice. The volume on these days hasn't been very elevated, but you can see the very high volume day right here, which closed very high. We gapped a little bit lower. Looks like we went raging to the downside or the upside. I don't remember which came first in this one. But either way, it came all the way back up and closed right there. 82.12 from almost 75. That's a pretty good. It's about a 10% swing. That's pretty good. I shorted the dip on the biggest day of equity since 2009. I'm glad I held a fairly tight stop. Yeah, tight stops are good, my friend. You got to have a proper stop strategy. Will save your account in many instances, in all instances. So good job with that stop there, Miguel. Oh, right here. Yeah, this is this day here is too deep in my opinion to get short. I would have shorted off this trend line break. We were talking a while ago, I think, of this low being undercut, which puts this low at risk. I would have rather short up here. I actually had a short on, and then I covered it because it's just, I don't know, something didn't feel right about it, so I just exited the position. It would have been a very profitable position. I probably would have ended up covering somewhere up here, hopefully. If not, I would have been given a vast majority of my profits back today. But either way, good job, Miguel. Small loss. I like it. I'll take it. So from here on out, we don't have a follow-through day yet. There's no very clear evidence that we're back into I should say that we're out of the correction. That's what a follow-through day does, is it tells you when the selling is abated. It doesn't tell you that we're going to be rip-roaring into new highs, but it does tell you that a majority of the selling has ended, and the institutions have stepped back into the market and taken some positions. With the volume being elevated like it was yesterday, and today being Friday, so this is day. Let's go to the Qs. They're going to base it off of the Qs. So 2 days ago being day 1, yesterday being day 2, today being day 3. Very unlikely that we get a follow-through day today. In my opinion, you can't have a 3-day follow-through day. IBD is not very clear exactly what that looks like, but if we get one today, I would assume it would have to be very, very increased volume and very, very bullish action, which will probably put us up another 4 or 5% today if we're going to have a 3-day follow-through. But the main point of the conversation is your next market day that's open is Monday. At least I believe it's open. Yeah, it's open. 2018 market hours. Yeah, January 1st is closed, but it has nothing to do with New Year's Eve. So should be full day New Year's Eve of a trading day. But my assumption would be it would be a fairly lighter trading day. So very difficult to believe we'll get a follow through on Monday. So maybe, ideally someday that week, this week, which would be, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how that goes. Hopefully everyone's back to work in terms of the stock market. I hate waiting week after week for full stock market, but yeah, as you can see, that the day after Christmas, very elevated volume. Usually these volumes are tiny. Like there's the day after Thanksgiving. Just super, super tiny. Super tiny volume. This one was like 2.5 times that volume. So, all right, about 30 seconds to the market open. Haven't looked at too many pre-market movers. Let's do that real quick, see if there's anything interesting. I don't see anything super interesting. These are names that are up a lot, but they're smaller names. And none of the chart patterns look good at all. So as market opens right there, not much to look at. Q's jumping at the open. You saw there on the 5-minute. Tesla up 2%. What's on my green list here today? INSG right there. Actually took a position in INSG yesterday, and we'll see if that works out well or not. Volume wasn't very good, and it already sold off. Was up 3%, up 0.78%. We'll see how that goes. Tesla 2%. FSS. Is this the coal miner? I don't recall. And we sold off on the Nasdaq as well. Would be my Maybe they'll sell this off as people think the market's good again after 2 good up days. Well, they're always high-frequency trading, Miguel. High-frequency trading isn't necessarily what a lot of people think it is. I'm not saying that specifically of you individually, but high-frequency trading, they actually front-run your trades is what they do. It's not that they're actively trading the swings or anything like that. So what they'll do, like say, the Q's here at 154.07, they'll actually, if you put a market order to buy at 154.07, they'll buy it at 150.407 and sell it to you at 150.408, and they'll do that about a million times a day. That's what high frequency trading technically is. It's not any kind of algorithmic swing trading program that that is better than you at trading or anything like that. So they're always high frequency trading. In terms of volume, yeah, maybe that's the case, Miguel. I think in terms of relative volume compared to a normal trading day, maybe. But the thing is, they don't make up volume. They kind of just front run it, which is BS in my opinion. All right, so Qs are staying flat on the open, up about 0.5%. See what the futures are doing. Probably about the same amount of weirdness. So the overnight session had kind of oscillations down, up, trending up. And there's quite a bit of movement we can be had here in the markets. We could easily chop above this 6,000 area from here, which would be about a 5% drop, mind you. We could easily drop 5% and still be perfectly okay as long as we, like we talked about up here, we don't want to undercut that prior low. That's our main goal in life right now. Excuse me, hold on. All right, so as I'm drinking water, the market turns negative on us. So here, Q's negative, or I should say futures negative. Q's are still positive, but that'll probably shift here. Let's see. So we got Tesla up here. Eli with a good buy down here at 300. Some good moves on Tesla. It's holding up. It's positive end too. Emmys, which has been beaten down, just like most other natural gas plays. INSG back up, which is good. Kind of breaking out of the symmetrical triangle. There was no breakout yesterday. Volume was actually pretty minimal, but the price action recently has been very positive on INSG. Symmetrical triangle still intact even after all this market correction, which started, what was it, like the 1st of October? So you can see here putting in a beautiful pattern. And even during this last downturn, it barely undercut its trend line here and poked right back into it. Well above the 200-day moving average. So took a flyer in this position, or in this stock, and we'll see how that goes. SKYW. UVE finally taking out the 200-day on the daily chart. And you can see that's the triple witching Friday volume right there. But the volume hasn't been horrible throughout this whole range. We had a nice little gap down there, filled the gap, came back. So maybe we can get over the 200-day. That could be okay in UVE. Fox, GRS, Tilray. Tilray with a rest down here. It's not necessarily a bullish rest either. Some bullish tendencies, but no follow through. An undercut of this low here would make this a bear flag. Could still consider a bear flag right now. Yeah, silver. Actually, yeah, we discussed this yesterday. We discussed it yesterday. I didn't see it the day before on the breakout there, but yeah, definitely overcutting a little base area, a low base area here in silver. There's a possibility silver can rally. Definitely is a possibility. Now, it's not going to give me massive gains, but there's probably a futures market around somewhere that you can play if you want larger gains. About 10% to this recent basing area up here at 16. That could be possible if the market continues with its bearish tendencies. So this trend line here, I'm going to remove this. This was our bear market line. This is a 20% for a bear market. We don't need that anymore. This is actually an interesting trend line. I kind of to kind of blow this up for you, I don't think I've really done anything like this before. But if you take this line, I'm like, okay, well, we kind of had a high, and we started this channel here. This kind of looks like it's almost equidistant, and it turned out being almost equidistant from where we broke down to the low. Pretty close. Doesn't really mean anything. I've never pulled a measured move in that fashion in my life, but it was just something I noticed. I'm like, oh, we had a drop, we had a choppy consolidation, then we had a drop, and I was just kind of wondering if those two could be correlated in some fashion. But we talked a while ago about high volume kind of being your bottom or your bottom-ish, and we've been looking at the futures, which is the NQ, and I think I talked about this yesterday. And so that's a pretty high volume day right there. But look at where it is in relation to the low. And then you have another high volume day that's actually not near as high volume as this day right here. That's the Friday. And this is Monday, the day before Christmas, the holiday. So that was pretty elevated volume. And that also could have been considered a half-ass holiday day. So interesting there. And then you go to the Qs. Again, keep in mind the NQ is where the futures traders play, and they'll take a day off. And then the Qs here, very elevated on that Friday. Look at that, super elevated volume. So here you have another potential bottoming day. But yeah, Eli, we were very, very oversold. That was a big drop. So definitely a bounce. I don't know about imminent, but yeah, definitely a retracement of some kind. Actually, if you look at this, this is your 10-day moving average. This actually held us down through a majority of these drops from the lows, at least in this initial state. You see right there, we closed above it once, maybe twice, if you want to give it there without much further upside. Imminent. And then it held us down here. So far, holding us down here again. So yeah, probably no reason to get super bullish until we have, a follow-through day, broken 10-day moving average. And really what's going to get us healthy again, which this isn't going to happen for some time if you just look at the charts here. Here's your 50-day moving average. We need to get back above that. Until we get back above the 50-day moving average, this is not a healthy market. A follow-through day down here would be helpful. Like say we get a follow-through day like here. I mean, we still have another, if this maintains its current clip, this current trajectory, we're still going to have, a 6 or 7% increase until we're healthy above the 50-day moving average. So I think probably the best thing would be for stocks to go fairly flat here. And like I said, you got quite a bit of range here from where we are right now to these lows. It's about 6, I'll just say 6% for easy math. So that's a 6% market range we could chop around in. And I think you guys will agree, if we chop around here, that's not going to look like a good signal. So ideally, we would hold up tighter up here. And we've been talking about this whole time. We need some nice high-tight consolidations. And unfortunately, this is an index, and it's probably not very likely we're going to get that. So, yeah, the 10-day here currently is holding us down. That's gotta be broken. So, like I said, no follow-through day intact. But anyway, I'm just looking at the markets here. What do we got? Let's delete little trend lines, intraday trend lines there. All right, let's get back to normal view. So we have the Qs here. We dropped lower, went higher. Fun stuff. INSG leading us today. Tesla pretty close. I got Tilray here at 1%. VMware, which has been doing pretty good. We noticed them. Talked about them yesterday, bouncing off that 200 period moving average. VMware, very nice here. You have the 50 still above the 200-day, and you even have the 10-day above the 50-day. It looks like that'll change a little bit, but I'm not super mad at that. Eli Lilly up 32%. Still holding up relatively well. The 200-day is still way down here. Lilly's been just if we didn't have a bear market, this thing would have been rallying. Goose flat. What else is there? Twitter down here about, Twitter jumping around, down about 0.75%. Rising in what could be a little bit of a dead cat bounce. So good volume in the past couple of days, however. Excellent volume, over average. So someone's kind of eating up a little bit of this supply down here in Twitter. And there's that low of that, there's the line of the prior low. This has acted as support here recently, going all the way back to this candle here at this 26 and a quarter level. You can see right there. That's been acting pretty good. INS I have highlighted here. So this is the one with a large cup with handle. Still maintaining the handle. Volumes are getting very, very weak here. That's actually good. That means some selling is abating. Maybe if you see some pops here in INS. If you can somehow limit your risk on this trade, you may have a potential bottom buy. But again, very difficult market. Still above the 200-day, chopping around the 50-day. What's up, Blair? I heard that most regular Joes have their 401ks invested in stock. That's true. They should be immune to any market drops because of the super long-term potential. Is that how it should be, or should people try to take the driver's seat? Well, so Blair, I'm not sure if you're not in the United States or not. You mentioned 401ks. Yeah, 401k is a retirement account in the United States that is sponsored by your employer. They don't own the account, but they're the custodian of the account. So it's kind of a weird thing. Just give a little bit of background for everyone. Your 401k, so you work at Microsoft, okay? Microsoft tells you what funds that you can have available to you. Okay, now it's not you individually, it's kind of the whole company. So they'll go to Fidelity or Schwab or whoever they want to facilitate their 401k, and they'll say, okay, these are the assets I think are safe for my employees to invest in. And yes, it's BS. I agree. But that's how it works. So, and from there, you can pick and choose what you want to do. So, you are in the driver's seat from that perspective. You can go ahead and do that. Now, if you want to be more in the driver's seat, you can actually transfer out those funds from your 401k into a traditional IRA that you totally control. And then you can go ahead and invest however you see in individual stocks. You won't be able to short the market, but you'll be able to do some things. Now, past that, you can actually go into a self-directed IRA where you can invest in anything. I mean, almost literally anything. It takes some tax work. I don't have one of those. But you can have a self-directed IRA where you can actually invest in real estate. You can invest in pretty much anything you want to. The only caveat is that absolutely none of that money can be used for you until you retire. So you do have the ability to completely take the driver's seat. And even in your 401k and your work, if you don't want to withdraw it, you're still in the driver's seat within those limitations of what your employer has allocated for you to invest in. And there's, index funds. Pretty much I haven't seen a plan that doesn't have an index fund of some kind. So you have index fund, money market accounts, which are garbage. And then you're going to have your traditional mutual funds, things of that nature. So, you can take the driver's seat. You can. If you really want to drive, you can really drive as much as you want. You can take that money out and go buy yourself a condominium complex, and then you can run it and then get those gains for your entire life in your tax-deferred 401k. Anyway, so yeah, you can do that. Looks like the market's rebounded here a little bit. Looks like we kind of tested the overnight lows right there on the Qs. Bounced up some. I think INS was a little bit lower too. Oh yeah, INS was in the negative. I think I was looking at it. Now it's up towards the top, 4% in INS. So this could be you never know what the market's going to do, ladies and gentlemen. Literally, you never know what the market's going to do. You can have, you can analyze charts, you can do all this stuff. But those guys with those billions of dollars really, really do run the show. They've put some money to work down here, and ideally we'll have a nice reaction out of that. in which case this could be a decent area to take some initial positions. I've taken 2 initial positions, TQQQ yesterday, and then I did, like I told you guys, I bought that INSG yesterday as well. Very small position so far. So far so good, but we just barely opened, so this thing could reverse. But very, very strong threat here. 99 relative strength rating in this name. Let's see what else is working. Tesla's jumped up 3.21%. This is a recent jump. We haven't overtaken highs of the day here so far. That would be right here. And if we do that, we may have a rip-roaring day today, which would be another day to put some, maybe put some money to work. So you should lean into these markets if you want to get involved. Not everyone's going to want to, I understand. But if you want to get involved, you lean in, you don't jump in. And then you add to positions as they look healthier. Without a follow-through day, this is definitely dangerous type of investing over here. Lilly up 50.5. No, Weibo. I was clicking on Lilly. Lilly's bitten me a few times here. Don't know if I want to jump in this one, but it's holding up really well. Let's see what's still down here. Netty's taking it on the chin a little bit. Not really fully undercutting. We have this trend line intact. It looks like we drew this when we had this low here. It looks like it respected there. We'll see if it respects today. AMRN up 1%. Definitely not sure if I'd be jumping in on that one. Let's see what IBDC is moving today. Let's look at some articles. They always got something popping up. Tesla's boardroom gets a boost. What's that about? Oh, Larry Wilson from Oracle and Kathleen Wilson-Thompson from Walgreens would join Tesla's board. Interesting. Larry Ellison joining the board. Wants to get involved in Tesla after profitability, huh, Larry? That's funny. Adobe Systems, they're highlighting Adobe. See what's going on with them. So double bottom in Adobe. Technically your buy point's way up here, 261. Wingstop. They're highlighting Wingstop. Oh, look at that, above the 200-day moving average. Definitely good from relative strength perspective. Looks like there's kind of a mini trend line going on there. Yeah, I guess, Eli. I'm telling you, man, Tesla's great. I love Tesla. Well, you know what's funny about reading those terrible articles for 2 years in a row is knowing that they're wrong. You know what I mean? And that's difficult to say because it's hard to know anything in the stock market. But like if you know anything about Elon Musk or anything about Tesla, like you know that it's going to work. Like it's working. It's been working. Just got the haters and stuff. That's all. Man, another iOS update. There's always an iOS update. Yeah, Wingstop actually looking pretty good. They're definitely holding at the 200-day moving average. Now Wingstop, I've always been under the assumption this has been Pizza Hut. Did they spin off or something, or did they just include Wingstop within some of their franchise locations? Actually, not quite sure on that. Let me look it up. Yeah, right, Eli? Exactly. Oh, yeah. Owns and franchises 1,300 chicken wing focused restaurants across 42 states. Pre-tax margin almost 30%. That's crazy. In E, accumulation distribution rating, which is bad. Not very good. But the relative strength is 97, so that's good right there. So Wingstop not looking bad. Market turning around at those highs. See the elevated volume there on my 5-minute chart. Right. So there's the highs. There's the slightly elevated volume. So definitely choppy up here. I don't mind kind of a pause day today, but I haven't been getting any of the signs I wanted to out of this market. So I should just shut my mouth about what I want out of the market because it never happens these days. It just keeps going lower. Tesla back up here, 1.7%. No, Tesla was never negative today. I thought it was negative for some reason. OGRMF coming back up, an MJ name, up pretty aggressively to 8.5%. Don't remember seeing this anywhere on my list. Just moving higher there. MEs, XON, 2 oil names. WGO, oil name, I think. BITA, we talked about BITA here the past week or two regarding this low here, and looks like it's working out of this low. Look at the elevated volume here. There's some distribution, but definitely looking better, trying to take over some moving averages on the daily. BITA looking better. And today, actually trying to break out of this little consolidation range. As a matter of fact, not bad at all. A bit elevated for this as a good stop, down 23%. Wish I would have taken a little bit of my own advice down there. Bought some BITA. What are some other Chinese names doing? Hold on a second. Man, I was doing I don't know if you guys know, I was doing some remodel to the house here over the past, month, and did a lot of drywall work. Changed my air filter yesterday. It was pretty gross. Just finished up the remodel the day before Christmas, and I'm like, I should probably change my air filter. Hopefully that'll keep my sinuses in a little better shape. But yeah, BITA looking really good here, 3.5% up. NIO, let's look at NIO. NIO definitely with a area here at about the 6th level that is trying to maintain. So far, nothing super healthy about it. Recent IPO. I don't remember much about this one. It's an ADR. I think it's China. Okay, Chinese company manufactures and sells electric vehicles and parts as well as provides battery charging services. So, pretty bad. 36 composite rating, which means it's only outperforming 35% of the stocks. So, not really super intrigued with NIO. ARRS, I'm intrigued by. This is oh yeah. Yeah, we talked about them a little bit. Are they getting bought out? You only see price action like that when they're getting bought. Let me go to FinViz. Actually, I'll probably just click the news here. Well, it doesn't look like a buy. Doesn't look like a buyout, but that's usually the only reason you see very, very tight price action like that. Yeah, looks like CommScope is acquiring Eris. Let me double check here. CommScope confirms $7.4 billion acquisition of Eris. So we're not going to be able to trade Eris anymore. That sucks. They got a freaking bargain on Eris for $7.4 billion. Eris's board is a bunch of crap. So that's why this looks weird. Anytime you see super tight price action like that around a level, that's the level that they're getting acquired at. And so this would have been basically a guaranteed 1% or 5% if you would have bought it on that drop like that, and whenever they actually do the takeover. So Aris is done for, guys. Let's take it. I think I have it on my watch list, as a matter of fact. I need to take it off. Bye-bye, Aris. Another one bites dust. And see, that's a problem with the stock market over the past 15 years, is these acquisitions, mainly from private equity firms. So what happened is, like during the 90s and the early 2000s, a lot of people got really smart and said, you know what, these companies are making tons of money. Let's acquire them and take them private. And you're actually noticing the number of things to trade on the stock market decreasing year by year. There's not as many IPOs keeping up with as many private market acquisitions. So it looks like the Carlyle Group, I'm not sure if they're public or not. Looks like they are. Oh, CommScope. Yeah, they're public. I think COMM's CommScope. So I'm not quite sure how this is going to work out for CommScope. But CommScope is a cable company. Actually, my low voltage days, I used to use CommScope from time to time. So familiar with these guys. No idea why they bought Aris, unless they just want to get into networking services. But either way, they didn't have a great reaction to that. They actually, looks like they've been dropping lower every couple of quarters on earnings here. Big rounded top on CommScope. Anyway, very choppy today, guys, in the market. So far, we've got down, up, down, and then nowhere for a little bit here. So we've seen the market really not moving until later in the day. We've seen this. We saw yesterday it didn't really rip roar until towards the end of the day. It looked like it was going to be a pretty bad day. Then finally, about 2 hours before the close, just started ripping higher. Look at that volume right there too. That's why I actually got involved. Is very elevated volume here towards the latter half of the day, and it really never let up. Really, it never let up. So looks like there's some, at least on the QQQs, there's some support here, 148, 147 range, and then the volume just got more and more elevated on the Qs. So that's healthy. Same over here. We didn't really start getting going until about 9:05. It's 8 o'clock for me, so we definitely haven't been roaring during stream hours. And you can see today, very similar situation, and we'll probably have a move later in the day, which will maybe be directional, or maybe we'll just chop around all day. But I'd rather us chop around at this level. That would be nice for me. I would like that. But again, market hasn't been giving me what I want. EEFT, what are you doing? So EEFT with a big sell-off here. Definitely took out this high level. Came back and touched the 200-day moving average and then bounced out of that. Respecting that trend line so far. And kind of coming back down. So we've rallied pretty hard into what could be some resistive levels. And we'll see how we react here over the next week or so. All right, so OGRMF still up here. INSG up 5% now, so that's nice. INSG doing well. ME's 3D Systems. What are you doing? Haven't seen you in a little bit there. 3D Systems. So came all the way back down. All the way back down here to those prior lows. That's pretty crazy. So dropped about 50% here. Pretty in line with, I'm sure, most stocks in the market. Beta, Exxon, we looked at most of those. Tesla's still up 2%. VMware gaining traction every time we look at it. VMware slowly working. Sometimes these boring stocks are the best stocks. Like VMware is not a very sexy stock, but sometimes they're the best ones. Look at this. Man, look at this thing. It never really even, I guess you could consider that. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay, so I guess it did undercut a larger base, unless you consider that a handle. That could be a cup, that could be a handle, which case we never undercut the low, so this would not reset the base count. Not quite sure how that would. We never tried a breakout, so yeah, I'm not sure if that would reset the base count in VMW. It could lead to some strange inverted head and shoulders right there. Breakout, never comes back. One base there. $35%. That could be a cup with handle. So that could be a cup with handle, and we still could. Yeah. So we have not reset a base count here in VMware, and then INS now up 7.25%. So we were talking about them just a little bit ago while they were at the lows. This could be a decent place to take a position, and it's moving 7.25%. That's very, very aggressive. Very aggressive on a pretty neutral market day. What's volume look like today so far? Well, this is a very, very low volume coin or stock. 16,000 average shares traded. This is a very, very risky trade. As a matter of fact, this one has no options on it either. INS, no options. So this would be stock only. And, I mean, you can see it already had a rip-roaring rally throughout last year from 4 to 14. That's a huge move. And beautiful cup with handle up here. Definitely could be something in the future from here. I'm not sure if I would buy it from here. And look at that market. We're looking green for a minute, and they came all the way back down. So definitely some choppy behavior here. But man, this INS, 7.25% now. They're picking at this thing. They don't want to sell it off. Look at that. Look at that strength. I mean, very, very strong. What's INSG doing? INSG doing pretty good. Let's take a look at the volume here today. Oh, wow. Great volume today on this one. Hopefully it doesn't sell off. Look at yesterday's was 307,000 shares. Today we're already 369. This should be a huge volume day for this stock. Unless I'm on the wrong day. No, that's the first day. So I'm looking right here, guys. You guys are still here. Yeah, I got nothing for 12:31. I go to 12:28, which is today. 369,000 shares. That is huge volume. So that could be a breakout of that symmetrical triangle. And as long as we don't have one of these days, which we had, this is kind of where it first sparked on our radar. I'll have to keep an eye on this one throughout the day today a little more closely. But yeah, as long as we don't have a day like this, which sucks, maybe I don't mind if it just stops here and just kind of hangs out. As long as volume doesn't go to 1 million shares without any further price progress to the upside. Don't mind that. But that's actually really good price action so far. Super high volume. Super high volume. Actually, I'm going to change this to 1 real quick. And very, very elevated volumes. Look at that. Look at the market yesterday and then this morning. Very high volumes. And it still appears to be a little bit of selling in here, unfortunately. So this opening candle with a vast majority of the volume came up and came all the way back down. Not quite sure how that plays out, but it did get higher. Anyway, I'll have to see. Either way, good move. VMware ticking higher again, 1.4%. Not sure if that's any higher. Just noticed it moving up. So choppy market session, guys. Hopefully we maintain chop and we don't have a huge high volume sell off. We'll see what happens here throughout the day. So I think I'm going to run, guys. I don't see any more questions. You guys want me to look at anything, let me know. But so far, I think we see the general trend, at least all that we're going to see. Twitter actually taken on the chin. It was up at one point in time. Twitter now down 1.8%. AMRN Netties down here. So Twitter with those two high volume candles the past couple of days, hopefully we'll get some support out of it. Goose was actually even down there in negative territory. Not much, 0.62 when I was looking at it, when it flew by. Tech is dead. Yeah, there's a possibility that Tech is dead for a while. Yep. Long live Tech. Well, let's look at a little bit of Tech before I head out here. We got Netflix, which is just down in the dumps. We got Facebook. I don't know if you can consider Facebook tech. I don't really think Facebook is tech. Nvidia would be tech. Intel would be tech. Intel with a higher low there, as a matter of fact. Nice higher low right there. Looks like we had them up here around this base a little bit. And then kind of moving. Facebook isn't tech. Yeah, I guess if you would say Netflix is tech, Facebook would be tech. Yeah, I guess maybe the definition of tech is changing, because actually you see Facebook, which in theory should be a software company, same with Google, actually gets into the hardware stuff. So yeah, I guess I've not seen Facebook virtual reality. No, I have not. But yeah, some of these big, I mean, we think of Facebook, they started off just writing some software and with some servers, and well, Google is Snap. Oh, it's not that I don't like Snap, Michael, that the chart hasn't been advantageous. Let's look at Snap, up 5%. Still stuck in this deep downtrend. Look at Snap from the IPO here at 29, down at 4. That's why I gotta obey those IPO rules. I'm not sure about a nice bounce down here. Volume is pretty normalized. I'm not super. Yeah, it still doesn't look very good down here. I mean, I still wouldn't be grabbing this thing. You know, don't let 29 and 4 is cheap fool you. This thing can, well, 563. This thing can go to 2 and why can't it go to 2.5? Could definitely get long to 2.5. You're saying long Disney? Was that DIS? Yeah, DIS is Disney. Wow. Wow. Wow, Disney. Look at you. With a multi-year range here. That's crazy. It appears that Snap's being killed by everybody. Yeah, I've seen the TikTok apps on a couple of my little games. I haven't played them lately, but a couple of games I used to play. And they're putting a lot of marketing money, because I saw those stupid ads a lot. But look at the weekly chart on Disney here, guys. You got 1, 2, 3, a 4-year base going on in Disney. There's a possibility that Disney could have a rip-roaring rally in the next couple of years, unless this bottom trend line gets broken. But yeah, actually, I'm not mad at Disney here whatsoever. I mean, I wouldn't buy it. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't buy it, but I like this more than I like this. I'll wait for that to do something. Maybe get interested here. Let's create an alert up there, as a matter of fact. Note: look at weekly chart. There we go. GoPro? Yeah, wow. Yeah, I haven't actually. 98 to $4. Never fall in love with the stock, ladies and gentlemen. Never fall in love with the stock. Now, see, here's the thing about GoPro. Like, these earnings could even be halfway decent. So their EPS this year is going to be up 74%. Wow, ROE is horrible. Of course, that's because their stock price has been horrible. Gross margins 26%, 27%. How are they negative profit margin? Someone's not running that business right. I mean, GoPro could be very, very good. They could be a very good company. They've got first mover advantage. They've got branding. They've got a core base of users, but they mismanaged. They mismanaged that opportunity. Maybe it's gone by now. There's been some other players coming into that market. You're seeing them on TV even. 70% sales changed over the past 5 years. That's not bad. That's not bad. 17%. Well, what I'm saying, Eli, is that I think they had an opportunity to branch out of GoPro, to branch out of the Extreme and go into maybe more smaller, something else. They could have done other things. I actually use my GoPro all the time. I use my GoPro quite often for family stuff. They had an opportunity and they kind of squandered it. But the owner's rich, so who cares? Well, GE was a behemoth that became, I think, impossible to manage. At least for the managers they had. They had an identity crisis. They didn't have a place to go. They did not have a place to go. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, smartphones have been killing video and stuff like that. I agree with that. No, I don't agree with there'll be no cameras. I mean, so I actually have DSLRs and stuff like that. They still blow away smartphones. Don't get me wrong, the smartphone pictures are pretty good under good conditions. They're still pretty good, but they're not great. I mean, it's going to take it's incremental steps to get us where we are today in smartphones, and that's been 10 years. It's been 10 years to get us. So I don't know about a few years. It's going to take a very long time. Like, how are you going to do telephoto zooming with a smartphone? I don't think they can do it. Buy a new smartphone. I got the 8 whatever, which has the same camera that the 10 has. So anyway, I'm gonna get going, guys. 8:13. I gotta get crypto newsletter. Make sure the kids aren't killing themselves. Take one look at the leaders. We got INSG up here. INS holding strong at that 7%. That's pretty good. No, I know they've got some lenses. Yeah, well, I've read some of those reviews, Eli. They seem to be a little. They're still mixed. They're still mixed. I still like 4-camera lens. No, I don't really keep up that much, to be honest with you. So I like the iPhone camera. I also like how it handles its pictures. I actually had an Android for a while, and I hated how it handled the photos. So that's a conversation for another time. Hit me up in Slack, Eli. All right, guys, I got to roll. I got to start that crypto newsletter. It's taking longer and longer these days. So, all right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Actually, I won't because today's Friday. So I will see you on Monday. Have a good weekend, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. Have fun. Bye-bye.